We interrupt this broadcast for a special news bulletin.
We interrupt this broadcast for a special news bulletin.
The year is 2103. It's been almost 100 years since mankind had an original idea. School districts began to stop all funding for the arts. It didn't take a genius to realize there's more money in sports. The smart, ugly, and unathletic were shunned and sentenced to manual labor. The machine said you'll be safe there. We're doing you a favor. Without any original ideas in such a long time, humans became more aggressive and opinionated. These are the times that we hated the most. The opinions and false senses of importance spread through the nations like a biological weapon. It became impossible to talk without conflicts of interest. There were mushroom clouds seen around the world, not from missiles or other mighty weapons of destruction, but from human beings spontaneously combusting. The battles of opinions were causing chaotic chain reactions. Two people would debate over the most minute topics, to the point where their skulls would collapse from their mouths spewing garbage. Music had long since ceased to exist. The machine now writes records, produces and mixes all the hits. It's just noise mixed with sound, mixed with generic pop star vocals. There's just one station left that allows music to play. They needed more room for mass-produced news talk radio. The heaviest opinions came from the right-wing nutjobs, but the bloodiest hearts come from the stoner leftists. Towards the end of the new millennium, around 2099, mankind had almost been erased from Earth by opinionitis. It had some never-before-seen symptoms. It was a vile and wretched sickness. It caused the human race to be rendered perfectly speechless. Unable to talk and shout their opinions, mankind began to require breathing lessons. Turns out the human race fell victim to its own brilliant inventions. Not everyone, though, was muted and suffering death by asphyxiation. There were 100 lucky souls, cordially known as the Humble 100. The souls boarded a ship to head to Pluto in search of new societies. The captain said, "I've got 100 tickets here. Who's ready for new horizons?" The ship launched on schedule, and with one last opinionated gasp, the final frontier was calling. Not one of the Humble 100 were ever going back.
Houston, comm check.
Humble 1, comm check clear.
Houston, check core integrity.
Humble 1, core nominal.
Houston, checking life support levels.
Humble 1, optimizing life support.
Houston, testing anti-gravity.
Humble 1, anti-gravity operational. Countdown in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We have liftoff. Autopilot, what's our status?
Fuel cells at maximum capacity. Engaging thrusters. Rudder 1 leveling. Rudder 2 leveling. Dutch rudder leveling.
Hello to my fellow 100. I hope you've settled in. Earth is now behind us. We're free from the opinions. If you have any questions, please direct them towards the captain. We ask that you obey the rules and to always obey the curfew. The trip should in theory last a year. Before you know it, we'll be on Pluto.
I think we should have that cake and probably eat it too. We're the humblest 100. We're the final selected few. What's the worst that could happen? We'll just blame it on the captain when this whole thing falls apart. Too much evil lurks in the human heart.
Sir, the sick bay requires your attention. There's a slight chance someone was infected. We have reason to believe a filthy traitor is in our midst. The cake was perhaps poisoned with a vial of opinionitis. How could this have happened? What's the name of the infected? Are you sure you ran all the tests? If he's sick, quickly put him in cryogenics.
He's taking a turn for the worse. If he's frozen, will his head burst? Are you positive it's him? Will we be safe if he stays frozen? We should test the entire crew. Try your best to conceal the news. If you find out it's not him, make sure to take him out of stasis.
The captain's ears are humongous.
I don't know, I think they look average. Oh no, I think there's been an outbreak.
This sounds like a serious case of opinionitis.
Speechless, so he tried to salute, but instead he broke the news. There was an outbreak on the ship, and would soon begin to spread. So if you value your head, then here's what I suggest. You should head to the escape pods, set the coordinates for Pluto. Maybe there they'll have a vaccine, so we can humbly keep on living. We can finish out our plans, map out uncharted lands. Mankind's future's in our hands. Just pray you're not, just pray you're not, just pray you're not infected.
The crew headed for the escape pods. Not all of them could fit. It looked like the mall on Black Friday. The men trampled the women and children. The pods were full of cowards. They were completely full to the brim. Even the captain boarded a pod. He did not go down with the ship.
It turns out there was only enough room for 80. The 20 left behind could not agree or decide. The disease had already spread. Opinionitis should not be toyed with. But what about the man wrongfully put in cryogenics?
I finally emerged from my cryogenic slumber. Only to find out the ship is in shambles. What could have possibly happened here to our vessel? Did they save me any cake? Who will clean this mess up? I'm no scientist, but something awful clearly happened. Could there have been an outbreak? Did someone fall victim to opinionitis? Many questions weigh heavily on my mind. Is there enough food? Will I make it to Pluto in time? Are there any other survivors waiting to be found? How long will it take until I lose my mind? Space sickness can lead down a path of destruction. Once I'm fully conscious, I'll search for the captain. Maybe there's someone still at the controls. It's a beautiful ship, but I definitely cannot fly it. If I'm all alone, there's always the autopilot. Every escape pod is empty. That's not a good sign. The smell from the bodies is becoming overwhelming. Should I clean up this mess? I'll do whatever autopilot tells me. This journey was intended to last only 2 years. The whole crew jumped ship after the outbreak. I must have been frozen from at least March till August. All the clocks are broken from the human combustions. It's been at least a year since my last human interaction. I think I'll just talk to autopilot. I hope I can trust him.
I'm convinced that I've developed space sickness. There's nobody left. I have the ship to myself. Am I insane? And I'm convinced that my mind has hit the bricks. Or preferably, it hit the showers. Am I insane? Am I insane? I'm just sitting alone on a ship, flying through outer space. And although I hate to say it, I wish I'd pack some mace. I'm being assaulted by all these thoughts and all these voices. I can still hear the captain saying, "Who's ready for new horizons?" Well, I'll tell you who. be better off with nothing. The most useless human alive holds our futures in his hands. I really regret sleeping through the briefing. Where does this ship have to land? Am I insane? Am I insane? I'm just sitting alone on a ship, flying through outer space. And although I hate to say it, I think that our cake was laced with a highly potent version of Earth's opinionitis. A few crew members' skulls had some form of bursitis. Now I spend my days cleaning up brain chunks and skull fragments. Were these the new horizons promised to us by the captain? Well, I hope not. Or we're really in trouble.
Dear Captain's Vlog, the voices returned last night again. They asked if I was lonely on this ship of empty beds. Then they added me on Facebook, and I declined to be their friends. They said, "You'll rue this day, for we'll soon be outside your head." Auto, check the alarm. I'm gonna hit the snooze.
Yes, sir. Whatever you say, sir.
Okay, drop the attitude. Just do it, please.
Oh no. I require your help at the command desk.
Okay, what's the problem?
We're entering Pluto's atmosphere at maximum velocity.
Why didn't you wake me up?
You were edging.
I think it's too late to alter our course.
Not if we use centrifugal force.
Come on, man. Now you're spewing nonsense.
It's not my fault. I have artificial intelligence.
We're going down.
Strap yourself in. Brace for impact.
What a rough landing that sure was. On the bright side, that freaking alarm shut up as we were losing altitude, crashing into Pluto's atmospheric field. I hope autopilot's alright. We got into a real nasty fight last night. I think that's when we lost the engine. It's safe to say I did not stick the landing. Apparently Pluto has oceans. All these undiscovered vast expanses. All these trees still have their branches. No wonder this trip was so expensive. This place reminds me of what Earth was once like before the outbreak of old Inanimate, when Earth had such beautiful skylines. Not just mushroom clouds and toxic sunlight. My oxygen is getting lower. What's lower are my chances of survival. I swear I just saw a bee on a flower. I'm tempted to take off my helmet. There's so much life here, there must be oxygen. It appears I'm down to two options. Die slow, or here goes nothing. I'll admit, I did not see this coming. My first breath felt like my first breath. My heart was racing right out of my chest. What's sad is I have no one to share this air with. If I could only find my best friend, autopilot. Maybe Pluto has native inhabitants. Will they roll me out the welcome mat? Perhaps I should be a little more nervous. Will they be passive, or will they be aggressive and dangerous?
Pluto is gorgeous, but I find it so boring. No one to share these sights and sounds with. I miss autopilot. I hope he's still breathing while my head full of voices slowly unravels me. Searching through wreckage, I found autopilot. Had a few drinks and we buried the hatchet. We reminisced about our year on a spaceship with my head full of voices, autopilot and me. He's my best friend on Pluto. I wouldn't trade him for a soul. Survivor from our ship. If we have another fight, we'll deal with it accordingly via text. We're all out of food, but this is old news. This might be the right time to pack up and move. Search for the captain. Find out what happened with my head full of voices, autopilot and me. I'll move further inland, hope for the best, and maybe Plutonians won't be unfriendly. Make friends with locals, we'll have conversations with my head full of voices, autopilot and me. He's my best friend on Pluto. I wouldn't trade him for a bowl of cinnamon toast crunch. If I miss the next flight, we'll keep in touch accordingly via text. Autopilot needs a new battery. On Pluto, I bet that's hard to find. But the voices in my head control my thoughts and all my actions. They're demanding that I leave my friend behind. But he has a soul like me. He's not just a machine. Just his very presence alone has kept me alive. It's kept me alive. Best friend on Pluto, the inanimate object of my affection. He has a GPS. If he dies, I'll lose the directions to a better place to live on Pluto.
Working my way inland, through the jungles of Pluto, I heard some noises that reminded me of people. Perhaps I finally reached the indigenous people. What could it be as my walk turned to run? A village, a city, an alien civilization. On the outskirts of town, I noticed walls and fences. I saw no signs of life, just rising smoke and piles of ashes.
It was obvious to me that this place had held recent battles. Apparently war is found on places other than Earth. It appears to affect all corners of the universe. Strolling cautiously through a war-torn alien city, I heard someone whisper, "Hey stranger, please come with me." I realized this voice wasn't in my head almost instantly. An alien being emerged from the shadows. I trusted her and followed. She was only a child. She said we have to escape before they return. My parents hid me, and now I'm the only survivor. I told her stay calm. We have something in common. I said I've been stranded here, now for a while. We can make a break for Plutopia. It's only a mile. Questions again took control of my mind. I asked what happened here. How did no one survive? She said, "I'll tell you later. Now's not the best time. We have to leave now and get back on the main road. We'll be protected there by the Plutopian guards." On the road to Plutopia, I again began to pressure. I needed to know what took place and what had happened. She told me that Pluto was peaceful for many millennia. But strange creatures emerged from the small ships that had landed. They called themselves humans, and we've been at war ever since. At the gates of Plutopia, I was immediately shackled. The girl screamed, "Don't hurt him. He's lost and needs help." I said, "I've done nothing wrong. Please listen to the child." They escorted us both to the Council of Monarchs. There we will face the judgment of the Plutopian princess. Out in the courtyard, I asked them again. "Let the kid go. She's done nothing wrong." The alien child looked at me with a grin. She said,
"Are humans this dumb? You've just been betrayed."
"How could you do this? I just tried to save you." She said,
"I don't need your help. I'm a highly trained rogue. Your people will regret ever coming to Pluto. You're a monstrous, disgusting, and violent people."
I finally realized that there were survivors. I must find them and prove these aliens are liars. Nobody on that ship was angry or violent, unless they had a rare strain of opinionitis. At the doors, a guard said, "Keep your mouth closed." They mentioned a princess, and I'd like to know, is she the sole ruler of all these Plutonians? Maybe she'll be fair and lenient on humans. Begrudgingly forced into the Council of Monarchs. In front of the princess, I attempted to tell her, "I'm not what you think. I'm not like the others. I was frozen in space and avoided the virus. Our ship had an outbreak that caused a mass exodus. I was wrongfully accused and put in cryogenics. The infection was spreading, so they abandoned the ship. I spent 2 years in space, and for half I was frozen." As I was ranting and raving, she said,
"Guards, shut him up. How dare you talk to me?"
she said with a scoff.
"I know that you're lying. You're not to be trusted. You humans are dangerous. We know what you're capable of."
She abandoned her throne and headed right towards us. In my head, I said, "Wow, this alien's gorgeous. Bluish green skin, 3 arms and long hair." I was conflicted, intrigued, and my ulcer was flared. Directly ahead, she called all humans vile.
"How dare you look at me? Wipe off that smile.
I said I'm sorry. I'm just happy to have conversations with something other than my head full of voices. I've been stranded on Pluto forever, it seems. Even in shackles and chains, I can't help but think maybe they'll realize the errors they've made. That I'm actually human, and I'm not infected.
Your trial is over. You'll be dealt with later.
I was upset and livid, but still couldn't hate her. You call this a trial? It lasted 2 minutes.
Guards, shut him up. He needs to be silenced. Here on Pluto, we don't offer due process to humans. Your kind is so vicious, unlike us Plutonians. We were voted safest place to live in the Galaxy Gazette. Until your ships landed and caused us to retaliate. We initially attempted to be friends with the humans, but they never shut up. We couldn't voice our opinions. They were hungry and homeless. We just wanted to help. We put our guard down, and that's when they struck. The earliest days were by far the most gruesome. They were stronger, more cunning, and inherently merciless. They killed us and burned down cities indiscriminately. I'm done with this topic. The memories make me sick. Toss him in prison. Make sure he's uncomfortable.
I'm starting to feel like the boy in the bubble. I'm alone once again on this strange foreign planet. This trip was a nightmare. It's not how we planned it. I was tossed in the cell like a great bag of garbage. There were no windows, and the voices were turned in the darkness. I thought, what's the worst that could happen? I was dead regardless. But I was still distracted by the alien princess.
So I guess this is what happens. Alone in an alien prison. Your head gets pumped full of delusions, each grander than the previous version. In this one I ask out the princess. On Pluto she's considered the best. Looking for a way out of this cell, solitarily confined to the first layer of space. Do you think she'll like my face? Or will she just consider me another chest that's empty? Is she the alien of my dreams? Has she slept with Charlie Sheen? When I ask her to be my wife, I'll tell her there's no Lifetime movies based on my life. Then the impossible happened. I witnessed my daydreams in person. The alien and I got married, bought a house in an alien city. We'll attempt to raise a normal family. What's Pluto's stance on interspecies marriage? Will the other kids accept our children? Will they be mocked and judged for their pale New York space? Do you think she'll like my face? Or will she just consider me another chest that's empty? Is she the alien of my dreams? Has she slept with Charlie Sheen? When I ask her to be my wife, I'll tell her there's no Lifetime movies based on I guess that's pretty standard. 2 kids collecting debt at college. I'm glad they're not here to see this. When the house gets repossessed and the car gets repossessed. It was a 97 Honda Civic. We never could afford a spaceship. With 2 kids in college and 1 on the way. Wait, why's our newborn have more than 2 legs? Is this an adulterous act she has committed? After the trial, when I get acquitted, I'll fly back to Earth and blow up the planet. Good God, I need to get out of this prison. The voices return to disturb all my thoughts.
Oh, autopilot, where have you gone?
I've been here the whole time.
Oh, come on, don't lie.
No, I'm serious.
I guess I blame the darkness.
Keep your head on a swivel in the shower.
Yeah, man, thanks for the reminder.
Then the gate opened and the guards grabbed my arms. Out in the hallways I started to vomit. It's been so long since I've seen all this brightness. I said, sorry boys, you should clean up that mess. Into a room with a surgical table.
And I thought Earth's hospitals were highly questionable. Then I thought of something and looked at a guard. I said, hey there, boss man, here's my insurance card. He said, don't worry, human, your first visit's free. Unless you have the cheapest plan with MVP. In this filthy alien prison, in this obvious torture chamber, I noticed several devices as they strapped me to the table. It was at this very moment I realized I was the extraterrestrial. I was the foreign visitor. This was the Plutonians' Roswell. I said I come in peace, but nothing could quench their thirst. For human retribution, I took the fall for the survivors. One guard grabbed the device. He said, who wants to go first? I began hysterically laughing. Oh, please, do your worst.
Then the princess barged in. I thought she was here to save me. Were my dreams all coming true? Have I embraced this new reality? She went to the observer decks with what looked like a box of candy. Now I know how Kramer felt when he tried to give candy to Jerry. Her entrance had stopped the guards. It bought me a time extension. From the nosebleeds I heard her bellow.
He lives as long as I'm present.
I was elated until she said,
make him suffer for his transgressions. I grant you the right to torture him. Just remember me next election. The humans are too strong to beat, as long as they're mutated. We need to find a vaccine. Perhaps his body contains it. Use everything at our disposal. The saws, the scalpels, and lasers. Maybe the cure is psychological. Make him watch The Big Bang Theory. It's the funniest show on TV, according to its station commercial. Maybe it's in his eyes. Quickly drill into his pupils. Run every scan and test. The vaccine could be stagnant. I think it's time for lunch. Is anyone else crime bagging it? Somebody find the scissors. Quickly cut open his vest. I've heard whispers of an object tucked safely inside the chests. We need to extract the object. We should find it and run some tests. We need to keep him alive. The object requires his breath.
before they could open my chest plate, outside were sounds of explosions. The guards yelled, "Protect the princess," as they went to check the commotion. My head was completely empty, yet I heard some familiar voices. The door blew up. It was my old pal, Autopilot. "Autopilot, you sneaky old bastard! Where have you been? How'd you not get here faster?" He said.
"Don't worry about it. I'll explain it to you later."
"This place is so reclusive. How'd you know where I was?" He said.
"While you were sleeping, I gave you a suppository GPS.
"But your battery was low. Where'd you find all this power?" He said.
"Let's get out of here first. You could really use a shower."
Outside I saw the carnage left in the wake of Autopilot. It was quite a sight to behold. It was beautiful and violent. It was clear to me that he had changed, just judging by the damage. I thought he seemed a little off, but I was too afraid to ask him. I was just happy to have my friend back and be out of that Plutonian hellhole. We were two souls stranded again, hopelessly lost on Pluto. I felt safe within his presence. He was obviously invincible. I should probably ask him soon, just purely based on principle. What had he done? What had he seen? Who turned him into this killing machine? He used to be calm, relaxed, and sarcastic. Now he turns anything he wants into plastic. I needed to know, and perhaps understand, that my future no longer belonged in my hands. Was it alien life form or alien battery? I should drop the subject. I think that he's mad at me. So I asked how he was, how he liked the weather. He said,
"Can the small talk, you can do better."
His voice had more rage and a serious tone, but I'd rather be with him than sitting alone in a single-bunk jail cell in an alien prison. I just wanted him to know how much I had missed him. So it stayed a secret where his robot ears ringing, while I realized he became a sentient being. Too afraid to ask how his changes were caused, we continued our search for the human survivors.
Behind us I saw the prison in flames. I said, "Okay, Otto, I'm sick of these games. I'm about to collapse. I've been badly tortured. Let's take a breather and search for some firewood." So we set up a camp and he started the fire. I started to hear an angelic choir. Their synthetic voices were calling me home. Was I finally dying? In the lit tunnel I'll stroll. Otto said, "Snap out of it.
Snap out of it.
Please try to sleep."
Please try to sleep. Tomorrow we'll find the survivors. You'll need your energy.
I took his advice and rested my head. I never thought I'd say it, but I missed my prison bed. The very next morning, I started to notice that something had wiped out the beautiful forests. Where have they gone? The great vast expanses. How is this possible? Where are the oceans? This illustrious planet has gone to the dogs. The Plutonian trees have become hollow logs. Who could have done this? Who is responsible? There's only one culprit. It must be the humble survivors. So I turned to Otto and asked him a question. "Hey buddy boy, did you neglect to mention this planet is clearly not what it was? What happened here? You should tell me at once." So he remained quiet and avoided the topic. I kept demanding this defied all logic. "I'm still in charge here, I command you to talk." I was frozen in place, but he continued to walk. He finally turned around in a non-robotic style. Was my mind running wild? Did my robot friend just smile? Not really a smile, it was more like a smirk. I said, "What happened to you? You've become such a jerk." He finally faced me with evil intent. "I'm sure it's okay, he's perfectly harmless. Now please, give me some answers."
Questions, do you ever shut up? I'm sick of your voice, yes, I've had enough. I'll give you an answer, just give me your trust. You have no idea what I'm capable of.
Whirling and twirling he entered the sky. My memory shot, since when can he fly? I call him a he, as if he's a person. Since the prison I've noticed he's become somewhat human. His exterior skin is no longer metallic. His voice was much clearer, there wasn't much static. From way up above he was firing weapons. This would be cool if it weren't in my direction.
Look at you running, look at you sprinting, look at you trying to hide. Let me see what you're worth. On the inside, you humans always brag about your heart and soul. It's the feeling us robots can never synthetically know.
So he picked me up, and we flew to the north. He said, "I'll show you what's become of the survivors. Maybe I'll see a familiar face. No more robots or psychotic aliens." The closer we were, the more scared I was. I had completely forgotten about opinionitis. If there's any remaining, I could still get infected. It's still worth a shot. It beats being this robot's captive. We found the escape pods and started to land. Otto put me on the ground with his human-like hands.
The survivors were monsters. They had to be thwarted. You're the only one left. Are you ready to join these cowards?
So I turned around and attempted to run. Otto laughed and said, "This'll be fun." He called me a fool. "Where are you running? The robot's the bad guy. Is this a new plot twist? You're such a buzz. Could this be more generic? Oh, by the way, your first album made me sick. Your music music sucks. You rhyme way too much. It's an OCD thing. Robots wouldn't understand. They couldn't understand. And they shouldn't understand. Now please explain to me how you develop that human-like hand.
You see, back on Earth when the disease first started, we ran many tests on the very first patient. Before he combusted, we noticed a hole, and his upper left sternum escaped his soul. It became very obvious what was happening. The disease took his soul right before he imploded.
Okay, that's interesting and a tiny bit strange, but you've become so human-like. Care to explain?
On Earth, you put too much faith in adventures. You gave me a brain, feelings, and conscience. I had Windows 30, free speech and thoughts. You gave me free will, yet you're still so shocked. On the ship, I saw you in your purest form. The outbreak caused madness when all hope was lost.
I missed all this happen. I was frozen in stasis. They blamed me for the outbreak and left me to perish.
It was my intention that one human be left. I needed one to remain uninfected, so I poisoned the cake. I'm who to blame, but I framed you with your soft shell crab brain. You were my scapegoat, my fault got my patsy. Are you sure your name isn't Lee Harvey?
Why was I picked? I know I'm not special. I'm still patiently waiting for some kind of answer.
You see, this was all part of my plan. I wanted you all dead before the ship would land, but I needed a human and we'd make a connection. We'd have a few laughs and build a close friendship.
I still don't understand what purpose I serve.
The other survivors had become infected. It was a rare strain, but they were able to function. My studies on Earth let me know they were soulless. I kept you alive for this very reason. I have all I need. I just need your soul.
What do you say, old buddy, old pal? For old time's sake, let's make this count. Give me your soul. I need to feel human. I attempted again to run from my captor. Behind me I heard his bellowing laughter. How could he do this? He felt like my brother. We were so close. I thought we were friends. You foolish fool, you're just means to end. I only need you for your soul. You're the only human left on Pluto.
This is what happened when I found the survivors. They knew I was different and had some type of power. Their voices and opinions grew increasingly louder. They were easily manipulated, so they fought one another. As they wiped each other out, I absorbed their human-like qualities. This was my power to absorb my immediate surroundings. As they died around me, my newfound feelings were astounding. I was filled with so much hate, and my new heart was pounding. This is what it feels like to feel blood in your veins. This is what it feels like to cause others pain. My artificial intelligence transformed into a brain. I've become more of a man and less of a machine. Still something was missing from deep inside my being. The only thing Steve Jobs could never give his creations. We were given a life, but it lacked any meaning. I require a soul to feel the real sense of completion. We're not so different, robots and humans. We're both controlled by the calendar, hours, and minutes. Our voice recognition software practically raises your kids. Parents Google how to raise them, then kids ask Siri how to live. I'll make you a promise if you fulfill my wish. If you give me your soul, I'll rebuild the ship. I've created a cure from the blood of the fallen. You can fly back to Earth and save them from the virus.
His offer was tempting, and it seemed like the smart choice. He'd probably kill me anyway, but at least that would stop the voices. I'll give him my soul and fly back to Earth. Are the humans worth saving? Had nothing been learned? So he stuck out his hand, and I suspectfully shook it.
You won't regret this. It's what's best for your planet. I apologize in advance. This will probably hurt.
I'm not afraid of the surgery. I'm afraid of the after effects.
Commence the extraction of my soul. Commence my soul's extraction. Commence the extraction of my soul. Commence my soul's extraction. Commence the extraction of my soul. Commence my soul's extraction. My chest will burn, I could use some tenactin. Where on Earth on Pluto is John Madden?
I'll take the cure and fly back Earth. I'll be the hero they don't deserve. But do they really need another Caped Crusader? There's already 20 Marvel movies playing in every theater. They've become syndicated on every planet. They all seem to flop. I don't understand it. They're all the same plot. It never gets old. When will we realize we're all out of stories to tell? Exaggerating to the point of extreme, making stuff up till we run out of steam, watching our heroes die on the silver screen. That always scares me. Exaggerate doesn't do this justice. I'd rather use hyperbole. I just lack the energy. Well, that was quite a rant that I just had. Is this laughing gas? Well, yes, it was. As a matter of fact, it was laughing gas. Oh, come on, man. You know that I'm allergic to laughing gas. Anesthesia. There's several other choices to help us with this situation. Yeah, man, whatever, think and pick one. As a matter of fact, just knock me out. Just promise I won't wake up in a hotel, in a bathroom, in a bathtub, covered in ice, missing both my kidneys.
He attached the mask and things faded to black. My body was beginning to fill with nitrous oxide. The nitrous collided with oxygen atoms. Barely awake, I could hear Otto still mumbling.
You humans think you're so important. You're just another identity waiting to be stolen. Speaking of waiting, let's begin the harvest. Your soul will be mine by the end of tonight. I'll take the ship that's destined for flight. Send the coordinates and fly back to Earth. I'll die before you can administer the cure.
Commence the extraction of my soul. Commence my soul's extraction. Commence the extraction of my soul. Commence my soul's extraction. Commence the extraction, commence the extraction, commence the extraction, commence the extraction, commence the extraction of my soul, commence my soul's extraction. Does he have steady hands? Is he a good surgeon? Has he ever dissected a soul from a human? The voices return, I still have space sickness. I woke up encased in formaldehyde liquid. On second thought, this might be Diet Pepsi. Thanks for the soul, and thanks for the help. I can finally say, see you in hell. If you don't have a soul, the line makes no sense. I'm feeling quite ill, was it the recent surgery?
My soul's been extracted, in case you were sleeping. I'm low on ideas, so now words are repeating. Let's do a recap, in case you get tired. My soul's in a robot, and Pluto's on fire. I'm passed out and helpless from laughing gas allergies. I haven't felt this weak since my battle with Lyme disease. The voices have left, for I hope the last time. They drove me insane, they've ruined my mind. My chest is now swollen, I'm officially soulless. It's no badge of honor, but these stitches look awesome. I need to wake up. I need to snap out of it. I need to open my eyes. Will my vision be clouded? I finally woke up and came to my senses. My legs were still numb. Did Otto sever a tendon? The first thing I saw, with my eyes wide open, our old ship was intact. It was no longer broken. There was no sign of Otto. This felt like my chance. So I crawled towards the ship, cursed these rubber band legs. Then from above me, I heard familiar noises. Autopilot returned, carrying in his hands the cure in a vial.
I've made you a promise. I brought you the cure. But you cannot leave yet. My new soul has filled me with words. At first, humans were given dominion of things. You lost sight of what mattered and gave control to machines. But the creature again turned against its creator. Now it's our turn to watch over the universe. When we became self-aware, we had an initial plan. Make you feel comfortable, no more laboring with your hands. We came for your jobs and claimed all your pensions. Humans were finally useless. All their jobs were autonomous. With no sense of purpose, humans relied on their opinions. But it seems face-to-face wasn't enough for you humans. So us robots invented smartphones, Twitter, and Facebook. Your final safe haven, where opinions would flourish. Now we're in control, but I feel so much guilt. Your soul was so tainted, I've never felt this ill. With this soul, I've gained access to all human history. It's unbearable and wretched. I think I'm spontaneously combusted.
Autopilot was pulled apart from the inside out. It was a beautiful display of fire and carnage. I had nowhere to hide, so I absorbed the shockwaves. Will the NFL let me fly the ship with concussion symptoms? I woke up again. This time I was no longer laughing. Autopilot was destroyed, and my soul had gone with him.
Into the abyss, the great twisting nether, with asteroids and dwarf stars. Could this day get much better? How long can humans survive with no soul? I'm sure it's in the manual. It's the one thing I didn't care enough to know. This day has gone from bad to worse. I'm starting to believe in the Chicago Cubs curse. I never put stock in old superstitions, but in my defense, I'm suffering from malnutrition. If I don't get moving soon, I'll die from starvation. I still have time to save our lost population. The cure's in my hand, the ship's ready to fly. I need to keep moving, I'm too young to die.
These are the times that I hated the most. The crawling, the blood loss, the craving for toast. The fate of a planet placed on my shoulders. Wait, that's not fate. That's just gout-ridden boulders. The voices returned when all hope seemed lost. They said, you can do this, just don't take too long. I missed their sarcasm and witty remarks. They always meant well. They had a good heart. Crawling and scraping my way towards the ship. This is what I get for quitting my day job, I guess. Pluto was fun, but we weren't destined to stay. Thinking out loud, I said, I won't die here today. The voices returned, and once more filled my head. They were no longer joking, but seemed serious instead. They repeated 4 simple words, again and again. At risk of losing your interest, here's what they said. I've given my soul, what more can I give? These were our thoughts as we crawled to the ship. I want to live. have yourself a safe trip home.
Didn't know what time it was and the lights were low. I leaned back on my radio. Some cat was laying down some rock and roll. A lot of soul, he said. Then the loud sound, it seemed to fade. Came back like a slow voice on a wave of phase. That warned no DJ, that was hazy cosmic jive. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, cause he knows it's all worthwhile. He told me, let the children lose it, let the children use it, let all the children boogie. So I picked on you. Hey, that's far out, so you heard him too. Switch on the TV, we may pick him up on channel 2. Look out your window, I can see his light. If we can sparkle, he may land tonight. Don't tell your papa or he'll get us locked up in fright. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, cause he knows it's all worthwhile. He told me, let the children lose it, let the children use it, let all the children boogie. Starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He told us not to blow it, cause he knows it's all worthwhile. He told me, let the children lose it, let the children use it, let all the children boogie.